Welcome back, everyone. We are here for Game 2 of the Champions League Finals. That graphic says dominate. That is a lie. This is Champions. We are here. Aim and Ignite has taken a solid Game 1 from We Got Late. They have finished the draft yet again. We have some very interesting picks coming out this game. A lot to talk about. A lot of question marks for both sides here. But, Jensen, just looking at this, what is the first thing that seems like it stands out the most to you?
Well, there's a Ramos pick in my Champions League game. Not a pick I suspected to see today, but here we are with a Ramos jungle on We Got Late side. And pretty interested to see how it works out. Ramos is a gank-heavy champion. He's a late-game hyper tank. And I'm curious to see what they do with it, because it kind of slots weirdly into the rest of their comp. Which, question marks, that's definitely one thing to put for We Got Late's comp. Because I am not a fan of it at all. You set up a solid Siege comp with your first 3 picks. Then you pick Fiora, who split pushes. So a little bit of a weird draft. Also banning Ornn. I'm wondering about that. Maybe someone on ANI has been spamming that Ornn. And that's why they decided to get rid of it. Over on ANI's side, though, they picked up the Nautilus, who I think is a little underrated. He's not as good as other tanks like Maokai or Shogath, but he still brings a lot of CC to a comp. And so because of that, they've drafted a similar team comp to what they did in Game 1, which is just a total dominance with CC. Just try to CC lock the enemy team up and kill them that way. And Nautilus brings that to a team comp.
Where's the Nautilus going, though? We have Jarvan Nautilus. Last game we were a little surprised there was Jarvan Cho'Gath. We fully expected it to be Jarvan jungle, Cho'Gath top, and we were then very wrong as the Cho'Gath went jungle and Jarvan went top, and that really didn't work out for them as the Jarvan got solo killed and the Cho'Gath got out-pressured extensively by the Gragas pick instead. That was on We Got Late side. So now it's Aim and Ignite's turn to decide where's the Jarvan going, where's the Nautilus going. What's your expectation?
I'm going to assume it's Nautilus top, Jarvan jungle. I doubt you put Nautilus in the jungle. He's pretty low-tier jungler in Season 7 compared to Jarvan, and Nautilus is just, I think, much better top. I think he slots into top lane a lot better. It is a worse matchup against Fiora, but I just don't think that matters. I think you just put the Nautilus top anyways.
So another thing coming out for Aim and Ignite is there's a Xayah Rakan and their blue side.
I was just going to say that.
Something went a little wrong here. We want to talk about that for a moment.
Yeah, Xayah Rakan should not happen if you're blue side. You should never get those champions. They even could have gone for Kalista Rakan. They had a ton of opportunities. We Got Late was, I guess, scared of the Galio pick, so they took it away this game, and that left Xayah Rakan open.
And then with their first rotation...
I don't know why you would pick Caitlyn Janna when Xayah Rakan are open. I just don't see the reason to. Unless you really want to run a Siege comp really badly, but then you have the Fiora, so it's a little weird. Yeah, I don't think blue side should ever get Xayah Rakan in any situation.
When you already have the Ziggs Caitlyn, right, and you're picking your top laner, Jace is there. He exists. He's free to pick. And he works really well with those 2 champions. And you just get more poke, more wave clear, more siege potential. And Jace is a really solid all-in if they decide to dive. Instead, they go for the Fiora, which she is a little stronger against Nautilus. She actually is able to kill Nautilus very effectively when she has that grand challenge. But Fiora doesn't really siege with the Ziggs and the Caitlyn. She can try and split push. But if the Nautilus just flanks the rest of the team, the Fiora split push isn't going to amount to much. She doesn't push turrets as fast as some other split pushers. She does push, but not to the degree that maybe you'd want out of someone who's going to be in a side lane when you're playing with a Siege comp. And then the Rammus. How does Rammus slot into that idea of a Siege comp?
I think Rammus is a good champion. I just don't think it's a good champion here.
So is he going to be diving or is he going to be disengaged? If things go wrong, does Rammus taunt maybe the Jarvan when he goes in? Is that the objective?
I think you just want to try to lock down the Xayah, lock down the Ahri maybe, but that's pretty ambitious to try to lock down those 2 champions.
They both have some mobility to dodge out from that Rammus. The Feathered Storm on the part of the Xayah the 3 dashes coming out of Ahri ultimate as well. Makes it very, very hard for Rammus to catch anyone. Charm also interrupts the Rammus Q, so if he's running at you in a straight line, it's very easy to throw a Charm into his face and say, actually, you can stop there.
Yeah, 100%. I'm curious to see how they pull off the Rammus. Like, you can snowball a game really hard with Rammus, especially his early game is pretty good. His ganks are insane.
That
So
Nautilus, I think, very susceptible to ganks. The Ahri pre-6, very susceptible to ganks. Xayah Rakan, not so much. It's pretty hard to kill those two. But
yeah, I'm definitely going to expect to see some top lane focus this game. You want to try to get the Fiora ahead, and then once the Fiora gets ahead, she can just split push, and no one on ANI's team comp can stop it. They don't have anyone to answer the split push. Nautilus can't. Late game, she will just roll over Nautilus pretty easily.
yeah, that grand challenge with the percent max health true damage, everyone's favorite League of Legends mechanic. It doesn't matter who you are, you will die if she procs your 4 vitals.
Pretty much. So we'll see how it works out. I questioning we got Late's comp, but maybe they pull it off. Maybe this is something they practiced before. I know that the Ziggs is a high priority pick for them. It's banned against them pretty frequently. So I'm guessing that Atomic Death is just a god at Ziggs, and then maybe he can carry it.
Yeah, I think the question mark's on their behalf. It's not the Ziggs pick. Like, Ziggs can work. They've picked the Ziggs in the past. They know how to use it. It's the picks surrounding the Ziggs. They were off to a good start, and then they kind of said, well, actually, we have a Siege comp, but let's not commit to it all the way, which makes things a little interesting. On the side of Aim and Ignite, I think their comp's a little more straightforward. They basically want to be team fighting. I think that's their objective here, with the Cataclysm from Jarvan, the Rakambo, the Nautilus, the Ahri, all of them having very strong AoE team fight focused abilities. Ahri getting picks, Nautilus can get picks, Jarvan great at generating picks along with the Rakan. Kind of a similar comp that they had last game where all of the champions on their team can make a pick happen if they land their abilities at the right time and in the right place.
Yep, very similar comp to last game. It executes very similarly. I like the Ahri pick. We haven't talked about the Ahri pick. I actually really like it. I think it counters Ziggs for the most part.
They banned the
Dodge
Ziggs last
all the
game, so
skill sets.
you have to imagine they've prepped for it at least a little bit. They had to have ideas in mind for how they wanted to play against this Ziggs, so...
Yeah, I think Ahri's a solid pick into it, just straight up.
I think we're going to see a spicy level 1 coming out here. Aim and Ignite looking to do something a little more intriguing. We see their entire team going onto the top side here. Fiora may be at risk of face-checking into an entire enemy team. Who knows what's going to happen here. The Nautilus, of course, part of why they're making this invade happen. The hook and the passive on his auto attacks, very, very strong. He can secure a target and keep them locked down.
He would have to start Hook then, which would hurt his landing quite a bit, since that's usually what you take third, and you want to take Riptide level 1 for the level 1 trades. But maybe he takes the Hook and goes for something fancy. Highly doubt it. Oh, maybe they got a pick here. Probably not, though.
Ziggs going to burn some of his mana, just trying to poke him down. Not going to land anything. Those snowballs bouncing just a little off to the side. So they end up invading. They find nothing. I'm not sure if they dropped a ward. I'm going to have to go look up there. They actually didn't, so they won't even see if they start the red buff. They looked at the red buff and it didn't place any vision down. So they won't know when the Rammus is going there. The ward probably going to die before the Rammus arrives. But other than that, a little look at an invade. Nothing going to come out of that one.
Yeah, not a big surprise. Usually these invades are just to get wards and nothing else, so no surprise that nobody dies. It would be pretty surprising if someone died during the level 1. See, pretty standard starts from the junglers, both starting blue side.
Alright, put your back into it.
Ooh, the cheese.
Chase, I'm going to face check into a Xayah and a Rakan. Ignite going down, shield coming down, the Rakan going to flash over the wall before the Caitlyn does. He's just going to find himself checking into nothing. We now see the Rammus coming up with level 2, going to fight this bot lane. Ziggs walking down as well. Rammus has W and Q. He doesn't have the CC. A gank going down to the top lane as well. Jarvan going to find the Fiora. First blood for Aim and Ignite. A very interesting level 1, level 2 play there. Lots of fighting going on all over the map. Suddenly the
A&I
camera
went
panned
for-
top lane and there was a dead Fiora.
A&I went for cheese in both bot and top. They went for the sit in the brush cheese on Caitlyn. Got both of her summoners. They did trade 3 summoners for it. So both bot lanes used 3 summoners. And then they also went for the level 2 gank top lane. Something that you usually see mid lane, the level 2 gank. Not usually top lane, but it worked. And shutting down Fiora early is going to be a big deal.
Charm and Flag and Drag coming out from the Ahri and the Jarvan onto that Ziggs. A very good flash to dodge out from both of those abilities. He's going to make sure that he does not die as well. That means that we have
He was definitely dead.
2 defensive summoner spells down before we got late. The Fiora died without using flash, which is pretty interesting. We actually didn't get to see exactly what happened there, but a repeat gate coming out from this Jarvan. He has red buff. Zig's going to burn that explosive bomb. He's going to use his cleanse to get out the damage, but the Ignite comes down after the cleanse. Ahri going to secure that kill. 2 kills already for
Unfortunately,
aim and
he used the
Ignite.
cleanse on the charm, so he didn't have it for the Ignite. So just an easy kill comes out. Bestrin is already doing significantly better than he did last game. I'll say that much. Looking a lot more comfortable on the Jarvan than he did on the Gragas.
He has, or at least at the time of that gank, he had 2 CS. He had taken his blue buff, or his red buff, and then he had taken a blue buff. And that was it.
Yeah.
And then he ganked.
No, very aggressive, and I like to see that. That's why I like the Jarvan jungle, and I wish we got late had ran it last game instead of the Shogath. The champ is just insane early game. The EQ is just basically a free kill or a free flash. It's very similar to Gragas, where body slam just can result in a kill early.
But you just got a little more range on that ability, a little more kill potential. Makes things a little more straightforward.
Yep. And
Also-
across the board,
Less clunky.
game's going pretty even. Game is already starting to snowball a little bit in A&I's side. Almost 1,000 gold lead early, which is a really big deal. I feel like we got late has a comp where they kind of have to win lane.
We see Bestron coming in on the gank on this flashless Caitlyn. She's going to pop the barrier. It is not going to be enough. Caitlyn going down as well. TSM Gunman dying. Shady Gecko in the meantime going to look for this Nautilus. Going to clunk him with that power ball. Almost going to kill him. Going to use the flash. Not actually a proper use of flash. He was going to dodge that turret shot anyway. The one that he tried to flash to avoid, he did not avoid. But he didn't die, so it worked out okay. I think he actually would have gotten executed as well, so.
I think it would have been an execute. I think Bulky Robo is out of mana, and so he didn't have enough to Riptide. And if he had enough to Riptide, I'm pretty sure Shady Gecko would have died to the tower. And it would have been a 1v1. But he gets the kill, gets out. Good gank overall. That's going to help to stop the snowball. But, oop, we see a gank coming in. Maybe a tower dive onto the Janna.
Thought about it. The Caitlyn was there in time. They were going to risk giving that Caitlyn multiple kills. When you're so early in the game, taking just a couple turret shots can spell certain death. So I think it's a good idea to call that one off.
Yeah, overall a good call to knock over that. Maybe if they had done that about 5 seconds earlier when the Caitlyn wasn't there, they could have pulled it off. It is healed Janna, though, so maybe not.
Jarvan again looking for this gank mid. Bestron on his tour of the map. Farming is overrated, he says. I want to kill everyone all the time. Going to miss the flag and drag. Still going to get a bunch of damage down, proccing the Thunderlords. Doesn't use the W for the slow, which I find pretty interesting. But still giving a little more pressure in that mid lane, making sure that Ahri able to pressure the Ziggs. With the 6 now procced on that Ahri, she has a lot of kill pressure if she can land a charm onto him.
Yep, I think it was a really good gank still. You just keep the pressure going, and Ahri can just snowball the lane herself. I really like how Bestron's playing this game, just being very aggressive in ganks. He's a little low on farm, but it honestly doesn't matter with XP catch-up. He can catch back up pretty quickly, and he's instead focusing on just snowballing the map. And I think when you have this type of comp, that's exactly what you need to do.
We can see there's an Ahri in the bot lane, but there's also a Rammus in the bot lane. He's going to get charmed, knocked out of the power ball. Well played. If that charm doesn't go down, I think there's a very dead Xayah who's getting taunted. Meanwhile, in the top lane, we see Fiora using the Grand Challenge on that Nautilus. Going to get 3 out of the 4 vitals, and then going to find a Jarvan. Get killed by the Riptide. A little unlucky from that Fiora. Maybe not the best time to go aggressive when you don't know where the Jarvan is. Bestron, again, showing up at the right place at the right time. He has 100% kill participation. He's everywhere on the map.
Yeah, Toxic, he can win the lane 1v1. There's nothing that bulky Robo can really do in this matchup. However, it's not a 1v1. You just keep pulling the Jarvan over every time Toxic tries to go aggressive, and it's pretty much just free kills. Vestrin is bailing bulky Robo super hard. He's doing exactly what a jungler should be doing when you have a losing lane like this, which is make sure that the lane doesn't lose. Swinging it in favor of bulky Robo, and I really like the way Vestrin's playing right now. Super good, super proactive. Showing the power of Jarvan.
So if you're We Got Late, you're down 3 kills already. Pretty much every single one of your lanes is not looking too hot. What are you going to try and do to get yourself back in this game?
You're just going to ward up, and you're going to try to avoid getting these ganks. Try to keep track of Jarvan. Use Rammus as a counter gank tool, something defensively. Maybe not to get kills, but to stop your lanes from dying. Right now, the Rammus isn't doing a whole lot. Yeah, I got the kill on Nautilus, but that was kind of just hand given to him. Didn't really have to work for it too hard. I think you want to try to snowball this top lane. 2. You need to get this Fiora ahead. If Fiora falls behind, your comp cannot win. You need Fiora to get ahead, and she's already down 2 kills. I want to see Shady Gecko path up top, get wards down to make sure that Fiora doesn't get ganked anymore, and just try to have the lane snowball that way. Try to guarantee that it's either a 1v1 or a 2v2, but make sure that these 1v2s don't keep happening.
What are your thoughts on this Fiora build? I think we see her going for a Black Cleaver first. Is that standard, or is there something better that you could go for against an Nautilus?
I think the Black Cleaver is fine. You know that the Nautilus is going to rush like double armor items. He's got the Ninja Tabby. He's going the Thornmail. I think you go the Black Cleaver, you lose a lot of kill pressure on him if you try to go for something like Ravenous Hydra instead.
We see heavy trading coming out in this lane. Fiora proccing vitals left and right, using the Grand Challenge. Going to get knocked up by that Nautilus. R has to flash out. The caster creeps, taking her very low. Toxic going to have to run away. Almost dying. It was a good idea if they weren't in the middle of a minion wave. Jarvan going to use the Cataclysm to juke out of the Powerball from Rammus. Very well played. Rammus now in the middle of 3 enemies, almost able to get the Jarvan, but not enough. Ziggs is there to help him out. REQ going to come very close. Auto attack not going to get the last hit. Explosive charge from the Ziggs going to knock Nathan away. Not able to secure another kill. Just the 1 kill on the Janna. Nothing too big. Here's the Ziggs. He's in the middle of the team, fighting again. Jarvan's back. Vestrin going in for more kills. Caitlyn now going to secure the kill with that 1Q. Featherstorm going to get the kill back onto the Ziggs. Another 1-for-1. These teams really just have a hard time getting kills, but Rakan going to proc the quickness. He pinged 6, and he was able to make sure that Caitlyn died. That is a 3-for-1 in favor of aim and ignite.
Only Vestrin fell on A&I side. Overall, really good trade. The 1v3. That's going to help A&I snowball quite a bit. Oh, looks like it's going to be 2v3. Shutdown going over to Rammus.
Rolls in with the flash Powerball, flashing that mastery emote. Truly a display of superior skill by using your point-and-click abilities. I'm always a big fan of that one. It's a bit of an overstay coming out of Ignite, donating that free kill over to the Rammus.
And it looks like the Fiora is getting the bad end of these trades, which is something you don't want to see when she's against a tank. She actually had to flash defensively away from the Nautilus, and that's really spelling disaster for this top lane. That Bramble Vest is pretty much shutting down any chance she has of snowballing this lane. And I can say pretty confidently that Fiora is shut down. And a shutdown Fiora is going to make this game significantly harder for We Got Late to win. That's one win condition that they just have out the window. They're not going to have the split push pressure. And it's going to make 5v5ing or 4v4ing a lot harder for them.
Now they do get the Infernal Drake. That Fiora still stands a chance of getting back into this game. Give her a bit of side lane pressure, give her a bit of time to free farm, and she will be able to fight that Nautilus. It's just a matter of getting enough AD on the Fiora that proccing those vitals does enough damage. A really favorable trade coming down for Aim and Ignite in the bot lane, by the way. They are going to chunk both the Caitlyn and the Janna down to about half health. No Ardent Sensor yet complete, so they will not be able to heal that up immediately. And that Fiora has found Jarvan yet again. Going to parry the Flag and Drag, but you cannot parry the Cataclysm. Going to get dunked, has to dash out, dodges the Nautilus R, and then Rammus showing up in the bot lane. Rakan proccing the quickness, hopefully to get out. Going to charm the Janna. We see the Ziggs ult coming in, a trade coming down. Aim and Ignite actually going to turn this around. They're going to get the kill on the Rammus in the 2v3. Nautilus teleport comes in, hooks up the Caitlyn. Another kill. Now Rammus is off to the races, fleeing for his life. He should be able to get out, but that is not what you want to see when you go in for a gank at the bot lane, is having it get turned on you, and instead losing your AD carry and your support as part of a gank that you initiate.
Yeah, with the pressure that Nautilus has top, he hasn't had to use his TP. Fiora has TP, but she just wasn't able to use it. It's just too risky to TP on that. The TP came out from Nautilus first, and he was just able to get the collapse going, and this game is just snowballing out of control for We Got Late. But they do have a good late game comp. True to their team's name, they have late game. It's if they can get there. If they can get Fiora to 3 or 4 items and hope that she can split push the game out. But it's looking pretty scary right now if you're We Got Late.
You don't want to see yourself down 5k gold at 13 minutes. That is a sure sign that maybe late game not likely to happen.
No, at the pace this game is going, that We Got Late will not be making it to late game. This game could honestly end in less than 15 minutes at the pace it's going at, maybe even less. I fully expect A and I will be able to keep this pressure up and just snowball this game out of control at the pace they're playing at right now.
Now with the wave clear on We Got Late, if Aiming Light actually try and group up to siege down turrets, I think they're not going to find success. So that might cause this game to drag out at least a little more, is that they're going to have to force them around the neutral objectives. So I think Aiming Light's going to have a harder time taking these turrets unless they're able to get Baron or they're able to get Rift Herald. That's going to be a core part of them, because if they try and just 5v5, I don't think you're going to find too much damage going down on the turrets with the Ziggs wave clear, with the Caitlyn wave clear.
Now, Ziggs and Caitlyn basically make it so if you want to siege, you absolutely have to take the Baron, and that's going to make this game a little more interesting. It means there's going to be a ton of fights over the neutral objectives.
But I think right now, Aim and Ignite putting on a clinic showing you how you work around that factor. You just dive and kill the Ziggs. It's going to be a trade 1-for-1. Rammus going to pick up the solo kill on the Rakan as part of that. But with the Ziggs dead, Rammus does not have the wave clear to hold on against a Jarvan and an Ahri. So that turret likely going to fall. Meanwhile, in the top lane, we see Azaya free hitting, going to be able to take down that top turret. We're going to see the outer turrets for We Got Late starting to fall down here. Looking like this is getting even more and more out of hand with each passing moment.
Yeah, and unfortunately for We Got Late, all of their kills are on their Rammus. That's not what you want to see at all.
We see a fight and a skirmish coming down in the bot lane. If you are going to use the flash aggressively to try and proc a Vital, that is a very dead Caitlyn. And a very close to dead Fiora, living with less than 10 HP. Nautilus going to chase her down, going to use the Riptide, going to get that kill. Things falling apart for We Got Late here. Turrets falling across the map. Mid almost dead. Top now dead. Kills still going down. Nautilus getting the solo kill on the Fiora. The opposite of what you were hoping for going into that matchup.
Yeah, this is tragedy when your Fiora is losing 1v1 to a tank. That pretty much spells disaster and that this game is probably over. The 7k gold difference, this is just a snowball fest from A&I.
So they can now look, of course, they're going to try and get this mid-outer turret. It should not be too difficult with how low it's been taken, with all of the engage tools they have. If a defense tries to be mounted with the lead they have, they don't even need to be executing their dives perfectly. They just have to be executing them without totally messing up. When you're up by so much gold, you don't need to play perfectly to get good results. You just have to play okay.
Yeah, this is a pretty easy game for A&I to win now. The path to victory is opened up completely, and they can easily just abuse their team comp at this point. Dive turrets and just kill the squishies over and over again, and there's not much that We Got Late can do about it with their comp. And, man, looking at those Fiora's items is depressing.
That is the very non-committal build. I think that's a Ravenous Hydra coming out, Pickaxe and Vamp Scepter do build into it. I'm pretty sure she had a Tiamat and got rid of it. I'm not sure what happened there. She may have undone the purchase.
Yeah, I hope she didn't sell it.
Either way, though, we see a really big engage coming out from Aim Ignite in the mid lane. Nautilus Depth Charge going to knock up that Caitlyn. The max range hook going to land as well. Ziggs and Caitlyn both dead. Rift Herald spawned in the mid lane. There's no more wave clear. John Aramis Fiora cannot hold a turret, especially when a Rift Herald's sieging it down. Aven Ignite going to push for 2, maybe even 3 turrets based off of these kills. Death timers are so short because it's still in the early game, but with Rift Herald there to help them, they might just be able to crack the inhibitor this early in the game. They're thinking about it. Looks like they've decided to back off instead. With Cloud Drake up, they decided that maybe that's a little more free. Nautilus Hook going to land onto the Rammus. He's going to have to flash out. They're going to back off. They've gotten what they were going for. They got that mid turret. They got another mid turret to boot. They're going to be able to clean up a dragon on the way out. That is a very, very good way to snowball this game for Aim and Ignite. Getting those mid turrets really helps.
Yeah, 2 kills, a mid turret, a dragon, and plus you get vision down in that bot side and jungle. You couldn't ask for a better plan to be executed at this point. That's going to help the snowball immensely. And this game is close to over at this point before I think I can call it that there's no comeback potential. At least for We Got Late, they're getting a tower out of it. So some Fiora split push is working out.
Now, I think it's interesting. The Nautilus does have TPs, so they could have stopped that. They just chose not to on the side of Aim and Ignite. I think they'd rather save their TP to make a bigger play than just saving one outer turret.
Yeah, they could have saved it, but I guess they really want it for the flanks, really want it for the aggressive plays.
I think with Baron spawning in less than 2 minutes, you'd like to see the TP because it lets the Nautilus get that pressure before the Baron happens.
True. If you blew the TP, then Fiora could just go bottom lane and pull the Nautilus down there. Now you actually have TP advantage. Fiora does not have TP for another couple minutes. So Nautilus has TP advantage, so he himself can go bot and just pressure around the map that way.
And I think with big neutral objectives spawning, TP advantage perhaps worth a little more than one outer turret.
Yeah. See Ram is securing the red buff, so the buff will not get stolen. I do like what A&I are doing here. They're getting the aggressive wards, forcing out the sweepers from We Got Late. The vision control, not great by either teams, but it is a little better by A&I.
Well, Rakan, of course, has that Sightstone completed. Janna actually does not yet. She's just living with that Ardent Sensor. We're going to see a big fight coming out in the top lane. That Ziggs Super Bomb actually going to chunk out Aim and Ignite. Both of their carries going to be going kind of low because of that. Not going to kill them, but certainly going to make them think twice about diving that Ziggs.
Yeah, that was a very good Ziggs ult. It made it pretty hard for A&I to continue that dive. They had to back off after getting chunked, and we see the Ziggs wave clear plus the Caitlyn traps coming down. It is very hard for A&I to crack turrets against this, so they're going to need to look for dives. They're going to need to look for aggressive plays. Picks in the jungle with the vision they're setting up, because straight up sieging is not going to happen this game.
With their ultimates all down now, that dive unlikely to happen. Pretty impossible, really, if you do not have the Rakan ult and the Jarvan ult. You're just not going to be diving that, so they're going to go ahead and reset. Wait for those ultimates to come back up. Ahri almost going to find the Caitlyn. The charm missing by just a tiniest margin. The flash completely whiffs out of Natho. He is going to go down. Rammus running into him with that power ball, securing the taunt. That is a dead Ahri. That slows down the snowball even more. Aim and Ignite now going to have to wait for that Ahri to come back up before they look at making anything happen.
This also gives We Got Late a chance to clear out all these control wards, clear out vision, and get vision of their own, which is going to make it a little harder for A&I to pressure this Baron right now.
A9 going to look at this Rammus. A dead Rammus makes the Baron a little easier. Rakan actually going to secure the kill with that Ignite. Jarvan now chasing down the Fiora 1v1. Feels bad when the jungler is able to outduel your duelist top laner. But that's the reality for We Got Late right now. And now that the Rammus is dead, that Baron looks like it may be
completely
falling.
shut down. She has a Ravenous Hydra now, but she's going to have to wait until at least Black Cleaver to be able to kill these tanks.
So Baron now the focus for Aim and Ignite. There's no Rammus to smite steal it. The Rakan does have ultimate now to zone them off. Aim and Ignite actually going to back off though with We Got Late showing up to contest. They're going to say, actually, you know what, maybe this is a bad idea. With the Ziggs ult off cooldown, perhaps that's a good sign of respect from them. But that Baron was pretty low. What do you think they're trying to look to do here again? Are we trying to bait them into a Baron fight, or are we just trying to secure the Baron?
I don't think you're actually trying to secure the Baron at this point. I think you're just trying to bait them in and look for one of the carries to maybe walk up and then just Nautilus ult them. Hard engage. You have Ahri ult to follow up. Ooh.
Or you can just pick the Janna solo as Ahri. That
just look for plays like that, and then you fall back to the Baron and get it that way. But I don't think you just kill the Baron straight up when you have 5 members on We Got Laid Alive. Definitely gonna have to get some picks first.
I think we're seeing a questionable play by the Xayah here. When you secure the kill when Baron's up, instead running to the bot lane to farm red buff and Krugs, I think that is really not capitalizing on a power play that you have for the next 30 seconds. I think they really could have forced We Got Late into a much worse situation. Instead, they sent their 80 carry to the wrong side of the map, did nothing with that kill. Dejana has respawned, is now walking out of base. So nothing comes of that pick, which I think is just a missed opportunity.
Well, we see the aggressive play from the Rammus, but it's not going to amount to anything. Not a big surprise there. The team just wasn't in position to follow up on the taunt.
So now we see Aim and Ignite kind of floundering a little bit here. They don't know what to do. They tried the dive top. It didn't really work. They tried the Baron bait. That didn't really work. They got a pick, but they didn't even do anything with that. Here's the engage. They're going to dunk the Janna. They're going to dunk the Ziggs. Nautilus Step Charge going to come down as well. Going to almost kill members of We Got Late. But it's going to be the trick with the Ahri flanking on the backline. Fiora going to secure a kill on the Nautilus, but it's not going to be enough. That is a 4-for-1 in favor of Aim and Ignite. And this time, certainly they'll take the Baron. That was a very solid engage.
Unfortunate face check from We Got Late walking up to the brush. The Jarvan engage was super good, and there was the immediate follow-up. And someone on We Got Late actually tried to FF. It was interesting.
Rammus going for the seal. He's flashed in. It's a little early. They're going to be able to kill him before the Baron goes down. Actually, damage going into that Baron. Rammus smite coming out just a little too soon, and then Jarvan immediately following that smite up with his own, securing the Baron, and then the Rammus right after. That actually came down to a 50-50, really. Rammus probably could have secured the Baron if he had just waited to smite it for another half second.
It was actually very close to a Baron steal. That would have been tragedy. That would have slowed down this game quite a bit. But he didn't get the Baron steal. ANI has the Baron, and now they're going to look to siege with it.
To our viewers at home watching this game, the correct play there, when you are aiming Ignite, you are securing the Baron and the Rammus is flashed into the pit, is you stop doing the Baron. You just leave it at 2,000 HP. Rammus is never going to be able to do 1,000 damage to a Baron before you can kill the Rammus. So you just say, alright, you know what, we'll kill you real quick, and then we'll finish the Baron. Instead, Xayah ended up doing incidental AoE to that Baron with those feathers of hers, and that's what got it really low. So you gotta watch out for that in the future. A bit of a misplay coming out of Aim and Ignite. They don't get punished for it, but they potentially could have.
Didn't get punished, no justice in the world, but they did get the Baron. Fortunately for them, and now they're gonna look to siege with it.
They don't have an 11k gold lead and a Baron buff. Ahri pushing in the mid lane solo. Just kiting away from that Rammus, just enough to avoid getting taunted under the inhibitor turret. Obviously, that would spell disaster, but dodging it out just enough, avoiding getting killed there. Generating the pressure, forcing We Got Late to look between 2 lanes instead of just 1. Using that Baron buff to power up 2 waves of minions instead of 1, always a great idea. And now we see Aim and Ignite looking in this bot lane, looking in this mid lane, trying to crack the base. With the Baron buff, the wave clear not quite there from We Got Late. They're not going to be able to hold off. Featherstorm used to dodge the Ziggs bomb. Almost dies, actually, because of it. Ziggs getting knocked up by the Nautilus Depth Charge, dunked inside the Jarvan Cataclysm. The dive kind of coming out from Aim and Ignite. They're not quite committed to it, but it's going to work out. They're just so far in the lead that they really don't get punished for any of these sloppy play. They have so many more items. Their team is just so much stronger that this is going to be the ace for Aim and Ignite. With the Baron buff, that will be game. They are going to go up in this series 2-0.
Yeah, that should be game. They have the mid minions pushing in. They just gotta take out the inhibitor and push these minions in. That's pretty much just game.
Not the cleanest way to close it out. Not the most coordinated looking dive either. But again, you're just up by so much. It doesn't really matter. Your 80 carries up an item and a half.
It was a significant step up from the last game, though. Last game was a clown fiesta. This game was a lot cleaner. Executed very well. Very good job on shutting down the Fiora. Very good job on shutting down the Ziggs and the Caitlyn as well. Just across the board dominance coming out from ANI.
ANI going to pull into the lead 2-0 in this series. They will be back on red side for game 3. This is now match point. If they can secure one more win, that will dub them the Champions League champions. We will see you all in just a moment for the critical, pivotal Game 3.